to The Cup, the Currently Unnamed Podcast, where we put the real and the tea in reality, and we can always come to us first to quench your thirst. I'm your girl, Lana, your resident evil diva, and I'm here to give the tea, spill the tea, and drink the tea because you know I loves me some tea. Purr. I am currently just drinking on some water because it's the first thing I grabbed. And I ain't trying to be fancy schmancy or nothing like that. You're not getting no oat milk lattes, cranberry juice and things and whipped milk. For me, just some plain Jane water, period, plain old loose Leduca water. Uh, you know, it is what it is.
Would you say that it's generic?
It's generic water, generic bottle of water. You know, that's sad. It's cute. But what I do have that is not generic, what is not plain, what is not just generic little stuff. It's my cup mug, beer. And you can get your cup mug at LanaTeesCreations.etsy.com. That link will be in the description below. And we do ship internationally and domestically. So there are no excuses unless your postal service is going to take their sweet little time getting it to you. Then it
like
is
2 months.
like 2 months. Yeah, sometimes in some places, in certain places in the areas, I don't know. But it is coming. It still says on the way. So we'll see. A delay is not a deny. So it might be a little late getting there, but it will get there. So get your cup merch and yeah, period.
Hi, I'm River, your Brazilian correspondent here on the Cup. And I am drinking water out of my skull mug because my cup mug is taking
Mm-hmm.
sweet time getting here, but it is not our fault. So
No,
it's fine. But I am very excited for it to get here. Please.
please.
Get River their cup mug, please.
Please.
And I am Brand, your professional fangirl of Constant Dragon video games. Breaking the fourth wall. I had just woken up like 45 minutes ago. As of recording this, and I am drinking coffee out of my Godiva mug, and it is as big as my face.
Per.
Yeah,
Man.
Godiva would be hot
As
chocolate,
it should be for
Mm.
this time of day.
yes.
Absolutely. If I would have gotten up, since we're breaking the fourth wall here, if I would have gotten up and had plenty of time to get my life together before I got on here, I would have had my hot chocolate ready. But when you are told very quickly that you have to jump on a recording that you weren't planning to be here, you kind of just go with the flow, and that's cool. I am always
You go with the generic water.
period. You grab generic water and you keep it pushing. And I am not complaining at all because look, I was gonna try to jump in and listen to y'all anyway, even if I wasn't gonna be on the podcast. So it's cool because this episode of season 17, episode 2, was kind of an eat. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I enjoyed watching it very much, and we are going to jump in and talk all about it. But before we do, y'all know what to do. Subscribe to this channel if you love anything drag race, drag related. We are covering it here, and so you should follow us on this channel, and you should follow all of our other channels. All those links will be in the description below. You're a fan of TV, a Eurovision Song Contest, wrestling, we got a channel for you. Go follow all of those channels and try to help boost all of our channels. We appreciate you. Also, you can follow our audio podcast links, which will be in the description below, so you can listen to us on the go. We see y'all checking us out, listening to us on the go, and we appreciate you. I am just going to say this, and I don't usually do this, but season 17, our fans listening to us on the go, y'all are showing out. And on audio podcast links, y'all are showing out. We're getting more people listening to these channels. To this podcast than we have in a long time. So we appreciate you. Thank you. You can also join our Patreon because we are going to do better with doing our Patreon, getting early access to most of the look over here's that we produce and exclusive content across all 4 channels. So follow us on our Patreon, join our Patreon, and yeah, do all those things. Period. Let's get into it, y'all. Episode 2. It's time for the week 2 girls to show their talent. Like week 1 did their thing and they got rated. And if you forgot, Acacia Forgot was at the bottom of that list last week. And so And
I mean,
Miss
at
Susie,
least she had time to prepare. You know,
she had
it's
all
better
the
to be the
time.
bottom from the first week than to be the bottom from the second week.
Absolutely. I would have wanted
So
that. I'm like, I'm going to be the bottom. At least I'll have a whole week to get my life together, watch
learn the
the other
song.
girls, learn the song, figure out what I want to do, watch the other girls, and see who I want to compete against. So,
Exactly. Plan your voting
plan
strategy.
your plan it.
Yes.
Strategy is key
Hmm.
here. And so Acacia she was the bottom for this last week, and so she was preparing for this week. And Miss Susie too won last week, just in case y'all forgot. Susie too won. So she is living on cloud nine this week. They walked into the workroom after the results, and she is living on the clouds, baby. She's so happy for her win. A lot of people were shocked by Miss Suit and her performance level and what she was able to do. And she came out and showed them. Sometimes you just got to pop off and show folks, just show folks what you could do. And she did that. Everybody was giving her congratulations to her, to Jewel Sparkle, who also did a great lip sync. And, she was like, I'm shocked. I did not expect to get my ass handed to me by Miss Susie too, but I did. And it is what it is, but it was really good. Everybody was in good spirits, but this season, the week 2 girls started to realize, like, okay, we up next. And we need to be a little nicer to these girls because now they are going to be judging us this time. And I will say some people dove right into the, hey girl, you're so
campaigning
pretty.
of it all.
Campaigning. It was like they turned into politicians right before our very eyes. I was like, oh, okay. Kissing babies, shaking hands, complimenting people. Like it was funny to watch, but I get why they were doing it. I get it.
And everyone, it was kind of like almost a bit, because it was like everyone was kind of in on the joke, but they weren't actually doing that. But it kind of felt like it was in a joking, playful way that they were all doing that. And so it was very enjoyable. Like when they were just like talking strategy, like how are we gonna vote, whatever, and they were doing all that. And then also we had a follow-up to the flirtatious moment from last week. We saw the other side now, because like Ariadne was like into Lucky, and then she last episode was like made the first move kind of, and then Lucky this week was like, you know what, I feel like she said an artsy fartsy spark, and I love this song.
That's good.
I live it. And the way that she went there to just like, can I borrow your purple? Because like my purple, I don't have my purple. Like, can I borrow your purple?
And it was like, you can borrow whatever color you want. You can take anything you want. It was just so cute. But then we saw the other duo kind of like Corey was just like talking to oh Lord, not me forgetting names. Corey was talking to what was the girl's name, y'all? Y'all know who I'm talking about.
What were they talking about? Maybe I'll remember.
Was like, is this a relationship budding? I don't know.
About Lydia.
Lydia, yes.
She was talking about Lydia.
She was talking to Lydia. I'm like, what is the girl's name? Sorry, Lydia. I'm just
Lydia.
early.
A lot of L's. A lot of L's.
A lot of L's.
It is
just like last season was the M's. Like it took me a few episodes as well too.
Yes. Miss Collins, Miss Butthole Collins, yes.
Miss Butthole.
Miss Butthole, yes. So Corey was talking to Lydia and was like, flirting a little bit, still trying to campaign a little bit. She was like, I mean, Lydia's cute. I don't know. Is it a budding relationship? We'll see. So I'm like, okay, work. I enjoy seeing people flirting a little bit and having a good time while you doing that. But yeah, so everybody the next day coming to the workroom, they're getting ready for the talent show. No mini
challenge, just go.
No mini challenge, nothing.
Because we know what's going on.
Oh. Yeah. We know what's up. They know what's up. We all know. Yeah. We don't need
no filler. Just get ready for the talent show. What were you gonna say? Where we had something?
Oh no, because I was just gonna say because that part that the Lucky and Ariel,
Yeah,
I
that
jumped. It
happened
was
there.
during this getting ready.
Yes,
So yes.
yes, it was getting ready with that, but that's why we just jumped right on into it because we're there.
And nothing before that.
Nothing really happened before that. After that, but yeah, everybody started getting ready. We hear more people asking about how do you plan on voting? Is it going to be? Are you going to vote fairly? Is it going to be strategic? And people are like, I mean, I'm gonna do it the best, fairest way that I possibly can, even though we know certain people already have alliances and we know that some people already have ways what they're going to vote for certain people. But
And also, there are no rules.
There are no rules.
You need to remember, there are no rules. Nobody needs to vote a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need to like the way that they voted, but they have the right to vote however they want. And you know what? Hate the game, not the player. You know
right. You gotta don't hate the player, hate the game for sure. But we did hear some things from Miss Anya Nerves, where she was like, she was worried about this whole Raider Queen thing. She was like, because a lot of people, this is just a personality. I mean, a contest for your friends. Like she was like, a lot of these people have their friends. They're going to pick their friends over. And she was like, I don't really have that, bond. Like she was like, I'm a queen from Cleveland. I'm not in the big scenes with some of these girls. Some of these people have known each other for a while. It's kind of difficult. And she was like, it was bringing up some past traumas in her life where she was like, I don't make friends easy. And when I was growing up in Cleveland, I don't know. Sometimes I wasn't black enough for the black folks, wasn't white enough for the white folks. So I was always left by myself. And I was like, I understand that. I've seen that. Recognize that. But she was just like, it's very tough for me to break down my walls to make friends because you have to be tough. Especially when you in a scene like Cleveland, you don't know where you fit in. People don't just openly welcome you in. So she kind of was like, I don't know how.
Also, because she's newer to the scene.
Absolutely.
Just to add to that, because she's all of that, plus the fact that she started drag later than people usually start. Yeah. There's no right age, but she said she felt like she started a little later, like 27, which is 27. Not late. But like anyway,
yeah, okay. I'm 27.
The girls that are 22 and have been doing drag for years, like that's you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And so I think that. Starting later than the other girls and all of the other things that you mentioned, she said, is the putting that together makes it even harder for her because like you already have a hard time making friends in your just regular life, and then when you're going to a new job or like a new place of work where people already have relationships and know each other, it's even harder. Like you're new to the scene, so you kind of are the person that kind of needs to take the first step to try to fit in and not otherwise, which it should be otherwise, but we know it's not. Like,
yeah, which is sad because like when you start drag itself, like I've seen it because I've seen a lot of like up and coming queens in DC, so it's like they're trying to get their buck, and it's I think what Anya was trying to do was always trying their best to like see if they fit in that mold of what Drag Race is. And obviously like she was worried about that, and like and power to her, because like that made me like realize how Anya like reacts to things all the time. So because we saw
also
that
as a contrast to like her confidence that we've seen so far, so it's like good to see the other side.
I think it's like you said, trying to fit into a place when you don't really have to fit in. Sometimes you just be yourself and it works, and that's what people want you for. And I think we'll talk about it throughout this episode. I think she found a place that is simply her own. Like nobody is going to live in that place. There is no mold. She is the mold. So maybe we'll have queens coming behind her like, oh, I want to be like On Your Nerves because that's the kind of confidence I want. So she can be the mold and be that place where people like her can. No, but
and also Susie last week won, and she didn't she didn't know any of the girls, or most of the girls. I don't know, maybe she knew like one or two girls, but she didn't have like strong friendships with anyone. Like like we have Jules and Sam that are like in the same drag family. You know what I mean? Like maybe she knew some of the girls, but she also didn't have like the strong relationships that Anya is talking about. So like, and she won. So like, I understand where Anya is coming from, but also she doesn't have anything to worry about because she just got to show her talent and who she is. And I mean, I'm living.
Right.
No, I'm also living. So
I think she's great. There's no issues.
The
no
charisma, honey.
Please. And the nerve and the talent. Let's come on. Okay, we'll talk about it. But so we, it's really just a lot of that, and then some, still trying to figure out where these votes are gonna go and how people are going to. And they asked about what people thought about last week's performance, and they were staying on Acacia's neck about who she wants to compete against. Like, who do you want to compete against in the lip sync? And so Acacia was like, I'm just trying to figure it out. She was going around asking questions, trying to figure out what everybody's talent was, because she knew for sure she didn't want to go up against a dancing queen. She was like, I don't want to do the dance queen. That's not who I am. I'm not trying to go and dealing with somebody who's doing the flips, the splits, and the dips. I don't want to do that. So what I need to do is find somebody who I feel like I could have a chance against. And she eventually landed on Hormona. And she was like, I feel like Hormona might be my best bet. I think she is, for lack of words, lacking a little bit in the lip sync department.
The least threatening.
We'll put it that way. Right. The least threatening. And it was like, okay. So
then Hormona tried to she played her cards.
She tried to manipulate the situation. And
it was so good.
It was funny. She was like, so I just want y'all to know, if y'all pick me to lose, you picking RuPaul to lose because Ru picked me. And
also the Dolly Parton of it all. I was like, okay.
Okay, now she bribing. I'm like, we bribing for
It's giving I'll pay you $10,000. It's giving Alaska. It's giving Alaska. I'm not mad. It was funny. It was
Dolly Parton personally. You can't promise Dolly Parton go sing a song with her. You can't promise none of that. But okay, because she had some people in
maybe
a scholarship.
A trip to Dollywood.
Maybe you can pay for maybe, but come on, girl. Anyway, but yeah, she was like, and so all the girls were like, I think the girls are definitely getting sick of her and that whole RuPaul asked me to join, and so. You can't, like, they're like, what you mean we can't put you in the bottom because Ru picked you? Like, girl, that's not how that works.
I agree. And I think on that, in the first episode, like when she came in and the girls were like immediately like, oh, with that.
Yes.
Like it's a normal initial reaction and it's fine. But now I feel like, and it was a little bit of like, oof, like a little bit of like, yeah, it does matter that RuPaul actually, like they know what it means to have that happen, right? But I feel like now it's not really that much about that. It's about Hormona's attitude about that is becoming, if it was me there, it's becoming too much, a little like it's too much.
It's definitely too much.
And that's what I think. It's not about the fact, it's the way she's
handling it. Because I said that last week when she first came in, I was like, y'all need to relax because it's not her fault that's how she got in. And you can't be mad at her for taking an opportunity and grabbing it. And it worked. That's what that is. But this week, it's like, now, girl, you can't have this attitude of you can't put me in the bottom because Ru picked me. After a while, that's not going to work. And honestly, in this situation where Ru has nothing to do with the decision, it's not going to work. This is a Raider Queen. It's about what they think, not about what Ru thinks. Now, maybe next week, when it's no longer a Raider Queen and Ru and them are making a decision, okay, sure. But this week, for you, it's on them to rate you. And you coming in like, y'all can't put me in the bottom. Baby, I would have put her in the bottom so fast.
Yeah, exactly.
She could have been fabulous. She could have split dipped all over the stage, but her attitude would have made me put her in the bottom just because I wouldn't like how she told me I can't do that. Because you tell me what I can't do, baby, I'm going to do it.
but in her defense, I agree. But also in her defense, a little bit, not too much. Again, also, but I feel like she could have been saying that like in a playful way, and maybe it didn't come
Sure.
out that way.
Sure.
But even in a playful way,
It's still
in that
annoying.
moment, if I'm a queen in that room, I would not, even if it was her intention to be playful about it, if it was me in that room, I would not have taken it in a playful way. So I understand. But I just don't want to be too harsh on her because the girls are already being, but like, it's a little obnoxious.
I don't look. Sometimes your intentions are not always how it's perceived, and so even if you're joking, I can care less because if your joke
about
hit
read
me,
the room.
it's
Read
about
the
read the
room.
room, baby girl, and
Yeah.
So whatever. We're not gonna say too much on that. But
before we move on to the thing, because we also had Jules and who was it? Ariadne? I think it was Jules and Ariadne. They were getting ready in the corner, and they were talking about. I think Jules asked like, "Who are we worried about for this week?" And they said they were worried for Lexi.
Yes.
And I'm like, in a way, before we watched the challenge, was like, yes, me too, for her safety. In that slippery stage in roller skates. I was worried for her safety, not for her how well she was gonna do ever. But the girls were saying like they were worried because they called her grandma. They were talking about aunties before, and I'm like, sure, that makes sense because it's in the drag world. You know what I mean? Because Lexi's been doing drag for like 13 years, so that makes sense. You know, she's not of old age, but she's been doing drag a long time. So for a newer drag queen, it would make sense to call an older drag queen auntie. That's fine. But
Grandma.
I mean, also I think it was in a playful way, but also like,
yeah, playful. But come on now, because one. Again, yes, Lexi is the oldest person in this
She's
cast.
33.
Only 33. But like, and the fact that she's the oldest in this cast, I'm just like, okay, I see why they're calling her grandma, but no.
Honestly, I don't even see why they calling her grandma because like she's 33 and she's been doing drag 13 years. It's not like she's been doing drag for 33 years. She's been doing drag for 13 years. In drag world, she's a teenager. So she should be like my older hot sister, my hot older sister. Like
big sister.
My big sister. She is not in the auntie range or the grandma range. Auntie range is somebody who's been doing drag maybe 25, 30 years. Okay, that's auntie right there. And then somebody who will be doing drag 35, 45 years, baby, that's grandmama. And so I feel like y'all tripping. But on the flip side of it all, if you go call me auntie and if you go call me grandma, I am just going to turn around and school you babies on how it is done. And there's nothing, smoke and choke all y'all, and ain't nothing you can do about it. And okay, so here is my unpopular opinion. And that is on this podcast and what I've seen online. I was not sold on Lexi Love from the beginning. And I know everybody here was like living for Miss Lexi Love. I liked her. I wasn't sold. I wasn't like, she is going to eat the house down, Boots Lake, all that. I wasn't there yet. And I was like, okay, some of her last week, some of the comments that she was making, I was like, okay. All right. She like I was back and forth with her. I was like, oh, I love that. I ain't like that. Oh, that's cool. I ain't like that. So I was back and forth with her last week. I was going on a journey.
The kombucha,
right. I was like,
no.
Well, yeah, that was me all last week with Lexi. This week, I was like, okay, because everybody was living for Lexi last week, and I was like, I want to know. What am I missing?
A reason.
Like it has to be a reason. What am I missing that everybody's living for and I'm not living yet? So I'm looking and I'm paying more attention to Lexi. And I was like, okay. I didn't like the grandma auntie thing, and I was like, because when they said auntie, I was like, okay, but all right. But they're like, when she said, who auntie? Which auntie? And she's like, grandma. And I was like, ew, I don't like that. But So Lexi was talking, and I was like, okay, all right, that's not bad. And then throughout this episode, I was like, okay, school them, tell them show them what you can do. And I was living for her. By the end of this episode, I was like, okay, I'm living. I'm not living, but I'm living. All right. Okay. It's
Also,
room to
Jules,
grow.
like I don't take I don't take Jules and Ariadne that seriously as well. Like that's
True.
because they are very like
True.
they are very unserious in the
True.
way that they like talk and the way that they are, you know?
Right.
At least that
True.
we've seen, right, on the show. So I'm like, I know as much as it really didn't sit well with me.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it's not that
deep.
It is not that serious.
It's really
just
not that deep. No.
It is really not.
They are very unserious, and I love them being unserious. I still like everybody in this cast. There's not one person who I'm just like, I am just not living for this person out. It's people who I'm like,
we'll get to that.
We'll get into that.
I'm just like,
let's talk about that.
But yeah, I like how
things have shuffled.
Yeah, I like how you bring up how you were not like living for Lexi at first, because like the way you said living at that point was how I felt in the initially, because again, her promo look was just all glitter, so that impressed me. Now, obviously, we'll talk about it, but like, we'll see who our top shelves are for the rest of the episode. So, but yeah, I just wanted to bring that up because I was like I was sold on Lexi immediately, and then I may be more sold. Who knows?
Yeah,
I like attitude. That's
I like it. It's a lot. We'll talk about it.
It's a feeling. It was for me. I was obsessed with her from the beginning. I understand why you were not, because to me it was a feeling. It was nothing like objective about it. It was a feeling that I had.
Right.
And so I understand why it took you time to get to let her grow on you.
I had that feeling for another queen, and I was like, oh, that's a feeling that I had.
It's very personal.
Right. So, but we keep it moving. So let's just jump to the talent show, because honestly, it was just a lot of
do we want to bring up
because we are not going to talk about it. But just because they had the runway before, which we will talk about on Look Over Here, but they did we saw the panel of judges and our special guest.
Well, we have to bring up the slides first, y'all. Y'all gotta let me do the order that we do things. We just because Logan ain't here don't mean we gonna go out of order.
No, I'm just because let's talk about the talent show. I'm like,
well, we got.
I want to talk about the special guest.
We gotta do this. We gotta get there. And see, we're gonna get there. It's gonna be out of order. But let's talk about that, because we did get somebody coming to the workroom. It's Miss Cheney.
Lawrence Cheney
is in the building. And you know what? I didn't know Lawrence Cheney. I didn't watch Lawrence Cheney's season, but she seems like a lovely gal. And when she came in talking about she was Alan Cumming, I was like, period. Period. And talking about we doing the traitors. Which, if you want to follow our Traders coverage, go to the Cup TV and follow all of our Traders coverage, and we'll put it right there. Ding. Okay, but Lawrence comes into the workroom. Everybody's very excited to see Miss Cheney. She looks great. I think this is such a good costume. I love the purple plaids.
She's a purple queen, Lana, just like you.
She is a purple queen.
Well, she's the purple queen.
Well, then that is who I will follow.
And Scottish.
And Scottish. Yeah. I love it. I think she was brilliant, and she had a good time with them. I thought this was a cute little moment that they shared.
A little fun bit.
Yeah. It's cute. Yeah. It was fun.
For what?
I don't know.
For fun. For nothing. For fun.
I don't know what the reason for it is, but sure, it was there. But there's our judges. Y'all,
RuPaul.
I'm just gonna say this, and forgive me for looking over this at my computer's over here and it's full screen, so I'm looking on this side. So don't think I'm not paying attention. This panel looks good this week. This is probably one of the best panels I've seen on US Drag Race in a minute. Like, everybody is slaying the house down boots. in this look. RuPaul looks amazing in this blue. This blue is.
I am
good.
obsessed with this RuPaul. When she came out, it had it moved me literally.
Yeah, so good.
And then TS. Period. The hair,
everything.
It's hair.
I'm just saying. We just saw TS on Canada. She looks good there. Excuse me. She looks good there. But this, the
liquid gold.
This dress,
it looks like liquid gold.
It looks like
on her
fire.
body.
It looks like fire just engulfing her body. So good. Michelle, this cat suit eats down. She looks snatched. It's good. It
matches her hair.
It matches the hair. And don't she?
I mean,
come through, mama. Come
bisexual icon.
Yes.
Live.
Yes.
Truly brought back music videos on day 2 of this year. Hello. Hello. Music videos are back. Thank you, Doechii.
I'm just going to say this. I'm going to say this. I did not know a lot about Doechii. I started hearing things about Doechii in a few months ago. And I was like, what I did here, I was like, okay, she's bringing back this nice R&B-ish, rap-ish kind of groove. And then she has this other side that's just like real, like she can do crazy and she can do smooth. She can do I was like, okay, but I think I'm gonna have to start checking Doechii out a little bit more because I was so impressed with her. I was so impressed with her, and I was impressed with the song that they had for the lip sync from her. We'll talk about it because it
was like her first song that went like that. Went like the biggest. It was like her big moment.
One of the biggest.
Right?
She did have She did have a hit last prior. With what it is.
That was the one that I heard first. Was Alter Ego was how I got to know Doechii. And Lana, if you haven't, watch her Tiny Desk concert.
I did see her
and the music video that just came out. Those two. If you don't like her after that, I mean,
I saw clips of her Tiny Desk, and I was like, okay, she is someone who I feel like she is bringing real artistry back, which I love. And it's just certain people who go give you some real artistry, and I'm a fan of that. So I'm definitely gonna have to check her out some more. But
and her personality is also
so
great.
She's so good.
So great.
She looks good. I love it. This panel ate up. I'm gonna put it out there early. This might be a nominee for panel of the year next year.
Ooh, okay.
So we're already getting like some nominees out of the drag that we've had so far.
I'm excited, but let us move on to the talent shows.
I just want to mention real quick because we're going to talk about the runway after, but Michelle's reaction to the two similar looks. I'm not going to spoil it, but Michelle's reaction to when we saw 2 similar looks is literally me, and I'm living. That's all. I lived.
I know what you're talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
That's all.
Even though that could have waited, but that's okay.
We're not going to talk about that.
I know. We'll get it. But let's jump into this talent show. I thought this talent show was all right. Starting with Sam Starr with their country performance. River, let's start with you. What did you think of Sam Starr?
I think Sam looks great. I love this outfit, and she looks incredible. Loved it. And I also like that she had things on the stage. Like she had a setup. It was not just her on the stage. There were visual interests for props. Yeah, visual interest. I did not really like the song. But she sounded good on the track. She sounded good. It just I didn't like the production of the track, but her voice was good. Besides that, it was fine, but it was just like walking and pointing and making facial, there was not much to it. And besides the dip in the end, that was a little, it wasn't bad. It was just, it felt dangerous. It felt like she didn't fall the right way, and it just made me worried. And then, instead of being exciting for watching the dip, I was like worried, exciting in a bad way. I was like, oh my God, is she okay?
Mhm.
Mhm.
But yeah, overall, like it wasn't bad. It was just, to me, it was a little underwhelming, but still like a serviceable performance still.
Mhm.
No, it was serviceable, but I do agree with the dip in the end because like everyone was like, "Is she okay? Is she okay?" It was giving when Zahira did her dip during the
Yeah.
rehearsal. I was just like, "Oh, okay."
Hmm. And she was smiling, like she was on the floor, like,
and and
for
then
so long.
one of the judges said, "Is she dead?" Oh my god. Now, okay. When I first heard the song, I was like, okay, sounds good because like it's giving that like classic country style. So it's like nice to hear. But then again, I was not impressed in all honesty because like she was just going all around. I couldn't even sometimes understand what she was saying because like there was a lot of repetition that wasn't needed. Because a lot of the yeehaw parts where it was just like where it was supposed to be like a shout back, like, and we didn't even hear
Mhm.
any of that from either the other queens or the judges. And then she was
Oh,
like,
like people were supposed to interact. Oh, I didn't
Mhm.
I didn't get that.
yeah, because like they
That's
only
fun.
interacted like once or twice, so which made sense, but it kept going on, and I was like, okay, this is feel like it's going nowhere. But she did okay. Like this was a safe performance for me. So are we doing rankings for all of them?
Oh, yes, yes,
Hmm,
yes. I put Sam at number 5.
hmm. Yeah. So and I put Sam at number 4 because it was just very safe, but at the same time, like there was just a lot different performances that I liked better. So
Mhm.
yeah. But yeah.
I
Mhm.
probably think I think I'm probably a little higher up on Sam's performance because to me, it felt very much like country pageant. Like this is what I expect to see a country girl performing at a pageant, and she wrote her original song, and it's a pageant girl. She's doing her thing. She's going across the stage. She's smiling. Da, ba, ba. But then what Sam did was take the country pageant way and make it drag. Like, yeah, I'm just some Sam Star, blah blah blah, and you gonna say yeehaw, yeehaw. Oh, y'all can do better than that. Like, it was. I remember what she was saying and I understood it. So I thought the performance was solid. Was it the best? No, but it was solid. She looked incredible. She looked incredible. Like,
Mhm.
I think this is one of the best costumes to me. Like, she looked incredible. But I thought the song itself was it was good. It was not top of the tops, but it was decent. And I think her jumping off the hill bay was kind of like her showstopper moment. But yeah, it kind of looked like she could have hurt herself, but everybody
It
who
was
did
still
it was
entertaining,
still
you know?
entertaining.
No, it was so
Right.
entertaining.
I think
I
they
was just like,
all,
"Oh my god, is she okay?"
and I mean, she took a risk. It did what she did. So I wasn't too upset with this performance. I thought she did really well. I thought she was good and safe in the middle of the pack. I think she's at my number 5. I didn't write it down because I didn't have time, but I think she's at my number 5. It might change as we go along, but we'll see.
We'll allow it. Not that we
Okay.
have to, but we
No,
will.
we will. But let's move on to On Your Nerve with in
Mhm.
and out. In and out. In, out, in, out.
I
In
had
out.
that stuck in my head.
For till today. In,
Uh,
out.
I mean, since I watched the episode last night until
Right
literally right
now.
now. Like, I
In,
cannot
out.
get it out of my head. I can't. It was I was worried when she came out and it was just her, nothing on the stage, just
Mm-hmm.
her. I was like, okay, you're gonna have to really give us something. And I was worried at first, but then I was like, oh, she did. But
She
she
did.
did.
She
She did.
did.
Because the song was good. She sounded good. Like the production, the track was good, and her voice was good. The lyrics were good and catchy and funny. Like, and she had charisma. Still such a strong stage presence to be able to
Mm-hmm.
have a performance with just you on stage and have people be locked in on you. Like that takes a different type of talent. And it was just so entertaining and funny and good. Like just good. It was just it was drag. This is drag. It was funny. It was camp. It was like all of the elements were there. I lived. But so I put Anya on. She would be my number 3, but very close to number 2. 2 and 3, very close. But yes.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah. I want to highlight this picture that was taken because again, that stare like had you locked in on Anya, and I was like, yes, this is how you command the stage like that. Like again, she had nothing on the stage, which again, it works for her, which I loved. So, and the fact that she gives that attitude and just gives that, like, she knows what to do to her audience, and it worked for everyone. No, yeah, song was catchy. I was like, again, like you said, the in and the out. I was like, and then I just like how Rue said, I need to call the burger place after this.
Also, great workout song. Hello.
Yes.
Like.
I was like, I can tell you couldn't say in and out on RuPaul's Drag Race. So I was just like,
she didn't have the N in the middle. It was in, out, in. Yes.
Yeah. But I still liked it how she said, like, yeah, I think I have to call the burger place after this. I was like, all right, because you're in California and they have a lot of in and outs, which, so yeah, which was hilarious. No, yeah, like, again, her coming into like this, like, was a little risky, but it worked. Like, she commanded that stage. I was very impressed. She was actually number 2 for me.
Certain people don't need props. Certain people don't need a whole lot of rigmarole to make things happen. If you have the stage presence, the talent, the song, if you have the right formula, you don't need all those smoking the bells and whistles and smoke and mirrors. You just need to do you. And Anya just needed to do her. Like, this was so good to me. This was so relatable to me. This was so like, this is the song you hear rolling down the street in my neighborhood. Like, you go hear somebody boom, boom. When that bass dropped and she was like, get down low, I'm gonna shake my ass. I was like, oh. When the bass dropped, I was like, I'm sold. I'm set. Here I am. I literally, like, when she finished, I was like I clapped. I literally clapped. I didn't clap for anybody else. I clapped. I was like, I clapped for one more person, but I clapped. I was like, this is good. This is everything to me. I was like, she just showed y'all who she is in 1 minute. She just showed y'all who she is in 1 minute. And I was impressed. I was blown away. I have a tie for first place, and she was one of them.
See, I was just thinking, because you said tie, I was like, you know what? Actually, I have my number 1, but I can't. Anya and I'm gonna put Anya tied for number 2. I can't in good faith put her third. I can't.
Yep. She's the tie for my number 1 because
tied for second. Yeah.
I just
and that makes sense. I see that. That makes sense.
So good. I literally clapped. And the other person I clapped for, that's my other one. So it's just like,
she also looks great.
Looks
I like this outfit. I like this. I love this.
I love the whole
everything
package.
Was good.
It was just good. It was just good.
It was just good. Like Safira said, good is good.
Good is good, baby.
Good is good.
When
it's good, it's good.
It is. And this was good, baby.
And this was good.
Let's talk about Miss Crystal Envy.
Now this was so good. I really enjoyed. One thing that I'm going to say, I'll start with the negative. This wig, I can't. Other than the wig, I can get past the wig because everything else was great, right? To me, I like the song. She sounded good on the track as well, and I like that she had different elements that told a story. It was more theatrical. It was very, to me, it was very High School Musical in the best way possible. This is a compliment because that's one of my favorite franchises. I love High School Musical.
Yes.
She was giving very much Sharpay, Bob to the
Ryan.
top, very that.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when she did
The twirl,
the
twirl.
twirling out of the dress. That got me. That it was good until then, but that really, she built this number. She paced this number very well to keep us watching and like in the whole time, so that we wouldn't get like disinterested towards the middle or at any part. She was keeping on us on our toes with like, and I'm gonna do this, and everything worked together. I think maybe she didn't need the beginning part where she was like with the outfit near the mirror or like the thing. Maybe that could have not been there, but also because it didn't add anything to it. That is my thing. So I don't think she needed that, but it was so entertaining and just good. Like, I don't know. I don't know what else to say. It was good.
I mean, I do kind of agree with.
Yeah, the ranking. I'm sorry. I was like, I'm forgetting something. She was the person that is tied for second.
Yes. No, yeah, I agree with you. Like, if she didn't need it, but at the same time, like, she did start out in a bathrobe before getting into that dress. So, like, it made sense why it was like that, like, mirror, like, look. Because I always love when they have, like,
yes.
I always love when they have that fake mirror there because it's like, oh, this is cute. Like, we can actually see what they're doing.
It's referencing the show as well, which is
correct. Yeah, and then when it went from the robe to that bigger dress, and then when it draped out, I was like, oh. And I love how like that was aligned with the fringe too of this outfit here. I was like, you planned that meticulously, and I love that because like I would have done the exact same thing if I were to like do that, because just time everything right and then still keep it engaged, because like that's exactly what she did. Like kept us engaged, and also we were like, what is this going to be with this dress? So, now I will say the second dress, like it was like designed.
She's in the picture.
No, in the second one. So like the full.
Oh, the darker blue.
Yeah, the darker blue. So I couldn't tell what it was when I first watched it, because like at first it looked messy, but because of the way it was draped, it was on purpose for that reason, which I loved. Like again, it looked messy, but at the same time, I understood why. So, which I did not mind at all. Like, because like I'll say, like if it's aesthetically like that, then it doesn't matter. So I wanted to highlight that. And yeah, she's also tied for my second. So,
for me, I liked this performance from Crystal. I thought she did a really, really good job. I liked all the different reveals. I like that she planned all of that to go according to different parts of the song. I love the build up, like you said, the build up to each part to make it bigger and grander each time. One little thing for me, I felt like it felt a little too overproduced. Like it was certain parts that I was like, it's so much happening, like with the background vocals and then the other overlay and tracking vocals. It felt a little overproduced, but I think that's the perfectionist that is Crystal Envy. She wanted to make it sound like the highest quality of production, and that she could possibly make it. And I felt like it just a smidge over. It was teetering the line of being perfectly right in that sweet spot, and I think she just went slightly over, just a little, because some things sounded a little muddled, but
like just a little editing, right?
Right, just a little editing would have took it back to where it needed to be, right in that perfect sweet spot. But really, who cares? Because she performed the hell out of it. Like she was flipping and twisting and turning and dipping all over the place, and she just showed that she is a really, really good performer, and I like that. I really enjoyed her performance. To me, she was my number 2.
And she was also giving face, which I was not like. She gave us expression, which
this
was
somebody
great.
who knows how to perform. It's just she
knows
what she's doing, and she's good at it. So she's not going to have step at all with it.
Very. I think if I had to describe her, Crystal, in one word, is just
polished.
It is
Absolutely.
just polished. That's
Absolutely.
it. Yep.
Mhm.
We move on to Miss Harmona Lisa and her stand-up comedy routine. It was stand-up comedy.
Her attempt
She was
at
standing
a
up.
stand-up,
She was
and she
standing
was
up,
attempting comedy.
and she attempted some comedy. So
Yes, at it's sometimes in a few moments, not all the time. Here's the thing. There is a, because she talked about it later, like, it was a risk, whatever, right? It is a risk doing comedy, whatever.
mhm.
There's a reason why it's a risk, and there is
Mhm.
a reason why not a lot of people do it.
Yep.
And she showed us that reason.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep. Yep.
truly,
Yep.
even Bob the drag queen said in podcast that if she were to come back on Drag Race, she probably would not do stand-up comedy for the talent show, even though that's what she does professionally, because it's too hard to have a good set of 1 minute.
Minute. Mhm.
It's not, the time is not good for this type of talent. That's the reason people don't do it, even people that are professionals at it. And I felt bad watching her. It was uncomfortable from beginning to end. And the best part about her talent was Jules. Where are the jokes?
Mhm.
Was the best part. To me, truly, she was the worst out of both weeks.
Yep.
Not just this week. She
Nope.
was the worst out of both weeks. She looked beautiful, though. I will
Yes.
say that. She looked so, this purple dress with the beautiful. Love it. This was harsh. This was hard to watch. This was bad. Just bad.
Mhm.
She was
Yeah.
my least favorite, of course.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a risk, and I appreciated that like she was doing something that wasn't like a lip sync. But yeah, it didn't work at all. Again, even though I drafted Hermona, I was like, this was not good. Like I really wish like it could have gotten further. Like I agree with you because like again, I've seen Bob do stand up, but her timing takes a while to like to get it through. The only like again, still one person that still tops everyone else when it comes to stand up. Again, Bianca Del Rio is the only one that can give
But it
quick
wasn't
witted
1
But it
jokes.
doesn't have 1 minute.
They had
You
more
can't do it in
time.
1
That's why
minute.
it worked.
Mm-hmm.
It's the time of the talent show that doesn't
Yep.
allow for stand up. If it was any other time slot, it would be fine. It's the
Mm-hmm.
1 minute that,
Yeah, it's the
anyway,
1 minute, but
right.
like even Bianca can like give quick jokes in 1 minute, so that's why I
Yeah.
can like think that.
She's
I
probably
don't.
the only one that would be able to do this in 1 minute
Mm-hmm.
and
Yes.
do well.
Mm-hmm. Like that's just me because like I've seen Bianca twice now, and she is so fast. Like you don't have time to
You're
breathe.
laughing in the first minute already of the show.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So it's
So
yeah.
yeah, it was unfortunate because like I was expecting something of this and it didn't happen. Like, and I appreciate the judges, like especially RuPaul, like trying to be endearing about it. And even Michelle said like that laugh seemed a little like you needed to laugh because you felt uncomfortable. So it's like
It was. She said it was a polite
A
laugh.
polite laugh.
yeah,
It
polite
was.
laugh.
Was.
So
It was
yeah.
wait. RuPaul's laugh was very
Mhm.
this.
Uh,
Very
It's
that.
giving Brad.
it's very, very.
It's
Yeah.
giving
So
Brad.
unfortunately, Hermana was number
Oh, I did that, baby. I did that. You.
I was like, am I?
You're not the
yeah,
only one.
you're not looped. I turned it off. So.
Yeah, I'm about to say I've been turning that loop off, so you're not doing that.
Yeah. So
But,
yeah,
yeah.
unfortunately, Hermona was number 7.
Yeah. Babe, I knew it wasn't good when she came out. I was like, "Hey, everybody!" I was like, "This is gonna
Hey,
be.
how y'all
This
doing?
is gonna be the worst. This is gonna be so bad." Cause like it wasn't even that her jokes were super bad. It's just her delivery was bad doing the jokes. I just want to say that this is such people have such a hard time being a drag queen, and I'm like, why are you so dry? And I get some dry comedians with the dry humor is a thing. I've laughed at some comedians who do dry humor, but you can definitely not do dry humor in a minute. You can't be dry humor in a minute. And like you said, even professional comedians know a minute is not a long time, and you have to build up the jokes, and you gotta, you gotta come out with some kind of energy to do stand-up comedy in a minute. And this was bad. I'm not gonna beat a dead horse. It was bad. She was my worst. We keep it moving.
Corey?
Court.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it
Corey
was.
Corey said, her talent must be stopping time because that was the longest minute of my life.
Yep.
No, honestly, she's right.
It was bad. She was the worst of both weeks. It's just is what it is. We move. Let's talk about Miss Corey King and her ice shaking talent that she did.
Should I start? Because I think I'm going to be the most positive out of everyone. Okay. I think Corey has great charisma and stage presence. Like even though she had like the ice on the stage, which I felt like added to it, it did help. Honestly, that helped. This outfit, I will not defend. I will not defend this outfit ever. It's not bad, but also it's not good. I do like the little ice around her waist, like just the minimal of it is camp in a way. And the fact that when she dropped at the end, like the one singular ice cube just flew out, that took me out.
Yeah, the one ice cube that just popped out. I was just like, and was just like, no, same, because like if I would have dropped it.
Right. That's so good.
But that was not planned, or like that was just, consequence, whatever. But the positive to me is that she had a clear concept. She is selling her brand, which is like the drink, the shake. Like she has a vision, and I appreciate that. And I like the track, and I think she sound like I like the song. I like the music. And I think the performance was fine. It was serviceable. It was not, oh my God, but it was also not, oh my God. It was a solid performance. I just liked that she had a little bit of extra, like with the theme of it all. It was not just a lip sync. Just like Jules the first week, like it was a lip sync, but she had like the leche and all of that. So added to it. And Corey, I feel like the same way. But for this week, out of everyone, she was my number 4.
Yeah, she was actually fine. Like, it was very, again, a lot. There were more people that were better. So, and which was why she is ranked a little lower than what I would like to be, because I do love Corey. But like, it was fine. Like, she was able to use her whole stage to her whole advantage. But again, I was still taken aback in the best way with, again, that one ice cube that fell off the belt.
So funny. Why was that so funny?
Now, like, I love that she keeps using like the tumbler of it all, because I'll be honest, I kind of do that all the time too when it comes, like, I used to drink a lot of Dunkin' in college. Like, I still kind of do, but like I would always like carry that tumbler with me. So
which makes it seen, Brandon. You felt seen.
I felt very
representation.
Representation matters.
I'm excited for the representation.
Absolutely.
No, I can't wait for like what else she will have. So, but again, she was number 5 for me in this. So, but overall, like, she did a solid performance. Like, I can like exactly tell what she was going for. So,
yeah, I feel that I enjoyed the performance. It was fine. It was solid. Good concept. She had, like you said, the vision was there. The we knew where it was going. The outfit, okay. I like the music. I like the song. I like her performance of it. The ice cube at the end, even though that was not planned, it just ate. It just went with it. Sometimes things happen and it just makes the whole thing better. And that coming off at the end and sliding across the stage was just like perfection at the end. Like, you ate that up with that. Even though you didn't plan it, it was still good. She was a solid 4 for me as well. I thought her performance was just good. She was fine. Yep, that's it.
Very nice.
Miss Lana Jarre.
Miss Lana in her security vest, traffic cone inspired hot couture. I like this outfit actually. I think she looks great. It's just it's giving traffic cone, but fashion. I like it. But I can't unsee it. And also the face, mom. She's so pretty. She is so pretty. I want to get the positives out of the way. Because here's the thing. The only thing that I liked about this is Lana. I like Lana. I like how she looks. Besides that, I didn't like the song. I didn't like the performance. Her face, she's beautiful, but her face looked the same throughout the entire performance. And I know she's got expressions because she is very, she has levels to her personality. We've seen it. She can be more expressive. So it was weird. I felt like either she was holding back for some reason, or she just really was not aware of what her face was doing because she was worrying about the physical performance. I don't know what happened. I don't know. It just was very underwhelming. And even though her moves were like she technically it was nothing wrong about this. The moves were fine. Like, you know what I mean? It was all fine, but it just was boring. Because it's supposed to be entertaining, and it wasn't. It wasn't bad, but it was boring. That's it. She was number 6 for me. Just because she was lucky that Harmona did worse. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, like I was very disappointed and very underwhelmed with this because like again, her face was deadpan. Again, like we did talk about this before we started the recording. Like even like I love how she started with the Lux head, but like it started like well, but it still wasn't. It didn't save like that part. Didn't even save this entire performance, unfortunately. So what also doesn't help, and like I love this outfit, like, and it's just that I feel like the lighting made it so much brighter, and especially the fact that it gave the blue background, and obviously orange and blue, they're opposites, so like it standed out really like harshly, like not in a bad way, but I was just like, oh, because I love how like how vibrant it is, so I can just want to bring that up, but. I mean, again, and then with the last dip at the end, which was in every single promotion for this season, which what we saw, I was like, oh, okay, Lana's gonna give us this like over the top performance, and then we see it and be like, oh, they really juked us. So, but yeah, also number 6, like I'll be honest about this, like between Corey and Lana, like it is like. Kind of a big gap. Yeah, kind of a big gap between
A Frenchy dip.
As my namesake, I was really rooting for her. I really wanted Lana to give. I think the way she started out her performance was trying to give us something that we're like, oh, she about to eat. Had Lux's face doing a thing. We're like, oh, she about to tear this up. And I think in her brain, in her mind, she was giving us cat, moving down the runway, doing shot, making it. And what we got was cat,
like 0.25 speed.
It was so like I think she was so busy trying to be cute that she didn't really dance. She wanted to look sexy, but she didn't want to dance. And sometimes when you dance, you got to look ugly to dance. You got to put that mug on. You got to move. And she was just move. And it's like, no, I need you to move. Her dip was good at the end, but like everything from the beginning to that end, there was nothing in between that. And so it's like, okay, all right, girl. Go on, give us nothing. Like that's really what she did. She really
Go on,
go
give us
on and give
the
us nothing, and that's what she
Mm,
gave. She looks great, but that ain't the talent. If your talent is looking good, fine, you did it. But your talent was supposed to put on a performance, and it was nothing. It was not. And then she talked about it so much in the workroom, talk about how much this is the lingerie experience. You go get the lingerie show, and I'm like, I don't want that show. Unfortunately, if I don't want to pay to see you have do it on stage. So if that's the lingerie experience, I don't want it. You need to show me the real lingerie experience because I really, really, really want to be a fan of hers. I really want to love her. Like I'm chomping at the bit to want to be like, yes, sir, give. And she gave me nothing. But she was 6 because Harmona was the worst.
You were we were rooting for you.
We were rooting for you. We were all
We were
rooting
rooting
for
for you.
you.
How
But
dare you
how
learn
dare
something
you?
from this?
Right. I was
Very,
there.
very.
But let's talk about Miss Lexi Love and her roller skating debut.
Please. Okay. I have one thing to say. Talented, brilliant, incredible, amazing, show-stopping, spectacular, never been done before. Not afraid to reference or not reference. I mean, I forgot the rest, but give
Mm-hmm.
birth to it. Eat it. Whatever. That.
Mm-hmm.
That quote is how I feel about Miss Lexi Love and about this performance. This was everything to me. I was worried, like I said, for her safety because we know, because the girl said how slippery that stage is. And we've had a roller skating runway once, and it was a little, but she she was not worried at all. She knew what she was doing. She was like, it doesn't matter that it's slippery. She just ate this up. The song was good. Like, I want to put that song on my playlist. Like, I want that song, please.
Mm-hmm.
And she was also funny. Like, the lyrics were witty. The charisma was there. Like, the playfulness in the face. Like, it was just fun and entertaining, but also like like incredibly unachievable. You know what I mean? I like to see things that I know that I would never be able to do. I like that. Um
Mm-hmm.
and I also love this outfit so much. This was my favorite outfit from the talent shows. And this was absolutely 100% my number one by far from everyone. Like number one, number two, very far away. Very far away.
Yep.
Yeah, and the one line that I really did love from her song, because the song was good, but when she said the bigger the hoop, the bigger the hoe, let's see where this hoe can or how low this hoe can go. I mean, mama. She did what needed to be done. Miss Lexi, I knew I drafted her for a reason. I knew I had to trust my feeling when I saw her the first time. I was like, this is my girl. And I'm happy that my gut feeling was correct. So, Miss Lexi, ate this up.
You said it, and even though it's gonna cover me up, she did what needed to be done. Um,
Period.
and one of the biggest highlights was the fact that she did 3 splits, like
Wasn't it five?
mm,
Or,
3 in
three.
a row.
Yeah, so
multiple.
three in a row, like split after split after split, going backwards, and I'm like on stage too. I was just like, how are you doing this?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
excuse me. And then also lifting up her skirt and then showing that bedazzled area. I was like,
Cupcake.
yep, the cupcake. I was like, perfect. Yep, Lexi, you ate this. Like and
She
you can.
tied that in with the theme of the runway because the runway was cake and she had a cupcake
Mhm.
on her.
Mm-hmm.
Girl,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you
girl.
can tell in this this is like when she finished her performance, she was like, "Did I actually do that?" like you can tell everything going to her head, be like, "Wait, did I actually just do that?" So,
It was funny, like the funny ending because she did like this the splits and then she like she had like a funny bit at the end. It was like very
correct.
acting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Very good.
No, yeah, and I'd give props to this because again, like you can tell like this runway can get slippery. Like it doesn't help that it's all like the runway itself is glossy. So, but Lexi, like I'm so glad that you are on the season because, like, you gave.
Okay, I have a quick question for the two of you before I go
Mhm.
into my point about this. Have y'all been to like roller rinks and things like that with
Mm.
the roller skating parties and stuff
I have, yes.
when you're
It's not a
younger?
thing here, so
That's
Okay,
not a
no.
well,
thing.
I did in
No.
college, so.
Okay. So I used to go to roller skating rinks all my childhood. Like that was the thing. We went to roller skating rinks and that was just life for me. Like every Saturday you go and you get to go to the roller rink and that was where all your friends were. That's where you hung out, you did the thing. It was just a thing. Especially in my community. That was the place to be on the weekends was the roller skating rink. So when Lexi said she was doing roller skating, I was like, okay, cool. Let's see what she do. I love good roller skates, and she did really good. Let me point that out. She ate what she did up. Now, somebody who has seen true people roller skating and doing flips and tricks and things on roller skates, I was like, this is good, but it's still some parts was a little crunchy, but it was still good because I'm used to seeing people who do it like real smooth, like, and it's like she did what she did. Oh,
Ooh.
not me changing stuff because
Lexi came in here like, what are you talking about, Lon?
I
Listen to
get
me.
overexcited. Right, like what are you talking about? I get overexcited and I hit my screen. But I think she was real smooth with it. I thought she was really good. She was really like, please, nobody come for me and thinking I'm coming for Lexi, and I don't like Lexi. Lexi 8, she was my number one. She was tied for my number one. So let me get that out the way because I enjoyed her performance. But I just seen it done smoother before. That's all I'm saying. I've seen the split and the flip around to another split into the flip around. It was smoother, but she did good. And on this stage where it possibly was super slippery, I applaud her. I give her
And
all the
in drag,
props. And
like,
in drag, I've seen people in drag do it too. But I'm just
I
no,
know, but
but
Yes.
no,
it adds a level.
it
I know,
adds
but
the
I know what you
element.
mean. No, I know what you
It,
mean.
it
It's fine.
definitely
I know.
adds the element. So I love it. I love this performance. It took me back. I was like, yes, ma'am. And I wanted her to show these kids why grandma auntie still got it and why she lasted 13 years in the game and while y'all still trying to chase what she already been through. So and she did.
Mm-hmm.
She came and ate all y'all up because honestly, her talent was one of the best talents of both weeks. So she kind of ate y'all
Mm-hmm.
up. And I was here for it. I'm not gonna say her spot, her number one ranking was far and above beyond the next person who I had tied for number one. I ain't gonna say that because I thought they were both on the same playing field in their talent. I thought both of them made me happy. And like I said, I like going on the field. Both of them made me applaud at the end when it was done. So baby, I think Miss Lexi Love 8, Miss Anya Nerve 8, and they deserve my number one spots. And this performance was by far better than a lot of the other ones, except Anya's. But that was that. That's I loved it.
I
I
think we
loved it.
all had similar, like, I think we all had the same people in the top three, just
Yes.
different order, and the same people in the bottom three, just different order. Yeah,
Oh, and
I think.
one other thing, Kelly Roller from España season 3. This is how it's supposed to be done. This is how you're supposed to get on stage and roller skate and make people entertain. This is how it's supposed to be done. I had a huge problem with Kelly Roller in España season 3 because she just wasn't giving. Lacey Love just showed you how it's done, and thank you. That's just
Lexi really came out and said, "Oh, you all are worried about me? Okay, let me show you what you should actually be worried about is me eating all of y'all up.
period.
Period."
Period.
Yep.
And it was really good. But we will definitely talk about the runway on Look Over Here. So make sure you join us for that. The judges let everybody know that the Raider Queens is going to happen. So they are not going to critique them. They went right back into the Raider Queens and did their rankings. They did the rankings. They did the things.
The only thing that really I wrote down that stood out is like that Jules put Sam number one, and she said because that's my drag family, and I'm gonna look out for my drag family, and I like that. I really like that. And then Ariadne putting Lana number one as well because of the alliance.
The alliance,
and they were very smart to do that alliance because they both not do well.
They both needed
it. So they were like, oh, we know they were onto something.
Absolutely, but everybody rated. That's fine. I think this is what we should go into Untucked because I feel like River, you're the only one that watched Untucked. So I'm going to turn it over to you because we'll talk to Untucked and then we'll do the results.
So they went back to Untucked and they were sitting on the couch. Like they do the kiki kaka when they get in. But then when it got real is they were sitting on a couch and it was Joella, Lana, and I do not remember the person sitting next to Joella, but there was another person in this conversation. And then Lana, where Joella was talking about like, she was kind of talking about how she felt about this week. And last week she was like, I was a little underwhelmed this week. Joella saying that she was underwhelmed with the talents this week. I'm just going to repeat that so it's very clear.
Joella
in that wig, that was
falling off her head. Okay.
That was falling off of her head. And anyway, and then
wait,
Lana,
hold on. Wait. You said Joella was saying how she was underwhelmed by the talent this week. Joella, who gave us nothing less. Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
We are on the same page. That is exactly.
I just wanted to be clear. Okay, go ahead.
That's it. Yep. And then after Joella says that she thought that she was a little underwhelmed, Lana asks Joella directly, and I quote, "Who did you not like? We're big girls. We can take it." And then Joella said, your song was very one note. And Lana went, because Joella answered the question that she asked directly.
Honestly.
And she was
honestly. I mean, my thing is, if you don't want to know the answer to the question, don't ask the question.
Exactly. If Joella came out of nowhere and said to Lana for free, I didn't like your song, it would be like, okay, what do you like?
Who asked you?
Exactly. But and not just that, she was like, Lana was mad in confessional saying like, where's the sisterhood? And being like, if Joella had asked me the same thing, I would have lied and said she did well. I'm like, okay, so you're just saying that you were a dishonest person. Got it.
Right.
I know, I'm just kidding. But like, I know what she meant. But like, okay. So what? So because here's the thing. I hate that. I hate when people ask questions they don't want the answer to and get mad when you answer. Like,
absolutely.
No.
No.
I still like Lana, but like that moment was just like, okay, girl,
you're
wrong. Bye. And then she was mad in confessional, and later was like complaining to Corey that Joella said that. And I'm like, okay, you can be in your feelings about people saying they didn't like your talent. That's fine. But being like, oh, that person was so out of line because she answered the question that I asked. Like, what do you mean?
What do you mean?
Like when they were reading Joella for the wig, and I was like, okay, now you're right. Now you're correct.
I mean, here's my thing, babies. PSA: if you don't want anybody to critique you, and or you don't want an answer honestly about a question, you shouldn't ask. Especially if you know your performance wasn't that good, and you really don't want the honest answer. Just say, hey girl, what performance was you feeling? And don't say mine, because lie to me. If you wasn't feeling mine, lie to me. Tell me mine was the greatest, because that's what I want to hear. So just do that. But tell me who you didn't like. Everybody else, honestly.
She could have asked, who did you like? Or she could have asked, what did you like about my performance? Because then it's like, give me the positives, right? That's a different question. But
yeah, child, you're a big girl, so take it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else happening on Untucked? That was it.
Oh, and everyone, because someone said like, oh, Joella is spilling the tea. She's giving her opinions. And then all the girls went around because they're like, I want to listen to this. She's being shady. I want to join. So everyone sat around Joella and what they were, and then she kept saying her honest opinions.
Mhm.
And then Lexi, I love her. When everyone gathered around the couch, she just brought in 2 shade buttons and put it in the middle of the table. It was like, you're gonna need this. I mean, it's the playful attitude that I live. But then Joella was talking about how she doesn't like busted drag queens.
Oh,
She used that term. She said, I don't like busted drag queens.
oh,
And then someone asked, like, what do you consider busted? And then she said, in that wig, that she considers busted drag that lacks in detail.
like fixing your, like gluing your wig down.
Drag that lacks in detail in look or performance. And I'm like, okay.
So,
so the call is coming from inside the house.
Inside the house. So
And
so you didn't think your detail was about gluing the wig down was good. You didn't think in the performance the detail was adding a little bit more than Joe. Don't forget the Ella, Joe, Ella. That lacked details because where was your props? Where was your people?
Something is missing.
With you? Something was missing.
Yeah,
the outfit itself was very basic.
Math is not mathing.
It was. Look here, I'm not going to call it.
It was entertaining. Watch Untucked. I'm not mad at Joella. It was funny. It was entertaining and funny. But
I'm not going to call nobody busted if I'm sitting here looking busted myself. That's just not how you do things. That's just it's better
when
ways.
Someone's wearing the same look that you are, and you're wearing that wig.
Right. Okay. We move. We move. But let's get to some results.
But that's it. But then on Untucked, they did the same thing that they did last week, where like the girls from this week, the girls from week 1 were interviewing this week's girls to have their opinions. So before they did the voting, and then we just had that. Yes.
Okay. Cool. Yes. Well, then we get the girls back on stage and the results do happen. And RuPaul announces that the top 2 of the week is Crystal Envy and Lexi Love. And I'm like, sure, good. I thought Anya should have been there, but that's just me. But yeah, great performances by both of these ladies. They did. And they got the honor, and I will say the honor, to lip sync for the win to Alter Ego by Dolce.
In front of Dolce.
In front of Dolce.
And baby, when this song started, I was like, oh, I am automatically in love with this. This song is going on my playlist ASAP. Automatically in love with it. And when I tell you these 2 women ate one down on this song. And here's the thing. I was like, I don't know how I would think they're going to perform it. Is it going to be good? Is it going to be... Okay. I'm going to say this. And I ain't going to... And y'all can take it how you want to take it. I don't really care. So, I thought we would go get the unseasoned version of this song. And it wasn't going to be that great. But it was going to be good in that way. It was going to be good, but in that way. And I was like, it's still going to be good. But I thought it was going to be a little flavored down a little bit. And I was like, right. And I was like, oh my God, if Anya would have did this, it would have been like something I would have wanted to see. But that was me. I was like, I wish Anya could have been doing this. Because I think she would have ate it down too. But I will say, Crystal and Lexi ate this. They ate this. And I was very pleased with how they performed the song. They knew the words. They were on point. The musicality and what they were doing to the song matched. I was thoroughly impressed, and I enjoyed this lip sync very much.
Your first assessment
Mhm.
when looking at the queens that are going to lip sync and the song that they are going to lip sync to is a very fair first assessment.
Okay, thank you.
You know what? It is. It is. Even though we just saw those two performers show that they can dance and perform,
Mhm.
but we know that certain songs ask for a type of it's the attitude. It
Attitude.
is the
It's the
attitude.
type
It's
of
not the moves.
soul,
Because sometimes you got the moves,
but
but
you
you
don't got
don't
no
have the
soul.
feeling of the song, the
Mhm.
soul, the attitude that is necessary to translate that song.
Mhm.
And that's where I think that assessment is very, very fair and
Okay,
correct.
thank
And
you.
I thought
Thank
the
you.
same thing.
Okay, thank you.
I was
I'm
like,
not
okay,
alone.
I was with you, but I was like, I'm thinking maybe Lexi's gonna do. Immediately, I was like, okay, but Lexi's gonna do better than Crystal. I think
Mhm.
at
Mhm.
first, just from what we saw on the talent show, that was
Yeah.
my assessment. But
Mhm.
I agree, they both did so good. They performed well together, even though like they didn't perform together, but like the way that they gave each other space on the stage
Mhm.
and when they
Mhm.
interacted, it was like it was very well connected. They were very aware of each other on stage. Um, but individually was also very good. I
Right.
really liked Crystal overall, but Lexi to me, she had the attitude that the
Mhm.
song asked for. It was the it was the face, it was the hand like it was the this, it was the way she moved her body
Mhm.
in the facial expressions and the playfulness of it all. It was like she knew when to go more dancey and when to go more camp and and funny and like playful. And it was just a really perfect mix of those two things, like the fierce dancing and like the playfulness and camp and
Mhm.
comedy. I lived. This is a contender for best lip sync of the year already.
Oh,
Like,
all right.
Hmm.
because they were both good. I
Yeah.
mean,
Again, like Lana, I was also worried like how like these two queens were gonna do alter ego. However, they shut me the fuck up. They really did.
quickly.
Because I actually did read something on social media that someone taught Crystal how to vogue before going on the show.
Hmm.
Crystal, or
Hmm.
oh,
Yeah, someone taught Crystal. Yeah, someone taught
okay,
Crystal
because
to
because she did the slow voguing,
She did
like
the slow
the
mo.
yeah,
Yeah.
slow
she did
motion.
the slow duck
Yeah.
walk, and I was just like, oh, I was like, okay, like I see where you're going with this. I'm not sure about Lexi's history with voguing, so I can't really like comment on that. But again, I did read something that someone did teach Crystal how to vogue beforehand, so I was just like, okay, work. Like, and I was very thoroughly impressed on how they did all of this because, again, All Street Ego is very high energy, so and I was like, okay, this is going to get very either it's going to be very bad or very good. So, and it was actually very good. So, I and again, I was like trying to juggle on what songs that they were going to do for Dochi period because again, she does actually have a song with Katy Perry on Katie's new album, but we don't talk
Mm-hmm.
about that.
Unfortunately.
But again, it had to been either Alter Ego, Nissan Altima, or What It Is, because again, I remember hearing What It Is last year because that was like one of the bigger songs at the end of the year. So that's why I thought that she was gonna do that. So, but I was thoroughly pleased with Alter Ego because it was very high energy and just, uh, again,
From the beginning, when they both like when the song started, it was like "fuck that hoe, fuck that," and they were both
Yeah.
like "fuck that bitch," and they were and
Like
yep.
Dochi was living. Oh, it
living.
was so good.
It
It
was
was
it
so good.
was definitely so good. I definitely think that they did what they needed to do, and I just loved it. I
Do I
just
also wish that I could have seen Anya lip syncing to the song? Oh,
oh,
absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely.
absolutely.
Yes.
But they
Oh,
did a great
absolutely.
job. They
They
did
did a
the
great
song
job.
justice, I think. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, but they did pick a winner. And it was Miss Lexi Love. And I think she
Yeah.
deserved, she ate that up. She
Deserved.
Yes.
deserved.
Mm.
I was like,
Oh, and
yes,
she was
Lexi.
so happy. Like
And she was.
she didn't
I
think she was gonna win. Like she was just so genuine.
that's what I love. I like the sincerity and the genuineness that she had in her emotions about, like, first of all, she was just happy that she was top two. She couldn't believe she was top 2. And then to win the whole lip sync, she was just like, oh my God, they called me the grandma, they called me the auntie, and look what auntie just did. And I'm like, period, 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 period. I loved it. I thought she was so good, and it was a well-deserved win. But just like we had the winners at the top, there was one person at the bottom, and it was Miss Hormona Lisa. And I was like,
deserved.
I say,
But did you see her reaction when RuPaul called everyone else safe and she was in the bottom?
no, I didn't see her reaction.
Very this. It
Oh,
was very giving
Yep.
Jan.
well, I mean, I don't know what she thought was gonna happen. She was the worst.
Well, she was counting on people taking
Not.
into account that what she did was a risk. And she was hoping that they would take into account this week and last week's runway. And I was like, okay, baby, you tell yourself what you need to hear.
It doesn't matter. You're still lip
They
syncing.
didn't.
Yeah, you're still lip
They
syncing.
You're
didn't.
still
Yeah,
lip syncing.
exactly.
In case you forgot. I'm sorry. It is what it is. And this lip sync was a huge contrast from what we just saw to what we're going to see now. It wasn't that great. It wasn't that great. I'm not gonna be honest. For both parties, it wasn't that great. I was not living for this lip sync. I don't even remember it that great. That's how unmemorable it was. Like, it was, I just was like, I'm not living. I don't. Acacia did the best she could. She did a little bit better than Hormona. Acacia was doing some things and it was fine. But as far as this lip sync in general,
I agree.
Yeah.
I will say, Hermona, what she was wearing did. I mean,
bind her up.
yeah, because it looked heavy, first of all.
Yep.
And also not the easiest thing to move in, right? Which, okay, I get it. But also the song was not the most, it is a pop song and it is like a little upbeat, but it's not like necessarily a dancey song.
Right.
So she could have gone with other ways with the performance. And I don't know if it's because she was just so shook and gagged that she knew she was in the bottom and immediately had to lip sync. Like she didn't have time to get her emotions and get herself together for the lip sync. So I feel that, but honestly, I felt the same way that I did about Lana's performance. It was like, go on, girl, give us nothing. Like nothing. Acacia was still like, Acacia didn't do much either, but she did
She
more.
gave us a little bit something.
And she gave us a little bit of something. And she gave us a little bit of comedy. I like when she removed the brush out of her whatever it was. That was funny. I chuckled. Said, it was something.
Like turn around the makeup brush in her ass. I was just like, oh.
The makeup brush plug. Like, okay. That was something. That was interesting. That was funny, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah. It was a very very jarring.
Yeah, very jarring because that caught me by surprise. I was just like, oh, okay. And so to Ariana Grande's Yes and like you can tell that like they like were ready to get that song immediately because again, I don't know, like they filmed that year and Yes and was one of the first songs to come out in 2024. So they're like, okay, we need to get this immediately. So now and I understand why they chose this over any other Ariana song they had that was released this year. So I was just like, okay, this'll do. Like, yes, we could have gotten We Can't Be Friends, but Yes and was very manageable. I'll say that. But it wasn't.
Yeah, I don't like the song.
I don't know.
I don't like the song at all.
I'm not like I don't know Ariana's repertoire of songs, but.
But mind you, like when in the chorus when they say yes and say that shit with your chest. So
yeah,
like
I mean that's the only part of that song I've heard, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not like one of the because it obviously interpolates Vogue by Madonna. So but it wasn't like the best song for this.
I don't even
For
know
lip sync,
what
yeah.
I don't know what song you could have did to make these two give us some good performance. I'm gonna be honest. I think
Something
Harmona's
country.
A
outfit was
different genre.
Something country, if I'll be
something
honest.
country. Yeah, something just
Like
not
they
it.
could have we could have finally gotten the 80s Mercedes lip sync that we could have gotten when Maren
Like,
Morris
yeah,
guest judged. So
country, an 80s song, a ballad,
Yeah,
like
something, but
not this song.
not.
yeah,
But
no.
they did have a winner, and it was Miss Acacia Forgot because she gave us a little bit
Correct.
more than Harmona, so it was correct. And so we're like, yes, Acacia, Sashay, or Shantae, you stay, go.
Shantae, say.
You stay, you go. And Harmona, how lucky do you feel? And I was like, Jesus.
Immediately,
Yep.
my
I was like,
spirits.
I was like, okay, we're gonna get her to go, and she needs to go. That's fine. But then it was, how lucky do you feel? And I'm like, okay.
Here we go.
So yeah, then we get the twist of the badonkadonk, whatever. We're dunking Michelle into a junk tank if you pick the right lever. It's 10 levers on the stage. 2 of them will dunk Michelle, and the rest
That's too much already. It
It's
should
really
be
too
1
much.
Too
out
much
of 10.
already. Yep.
That's
Should be
too
1.
much.
Too much. It should be 1.
First of all,
And
this shouldn't even be a thing. And it
no,
being a thing, it should be just 1. But go ahead.
Well, we
and it's
knew this
annoying.
from the trailer, so we didn't know when this was gonna happen. So
I mean, I wish it.
But
I mean,
in what context?
in
Either
what
because we
context,
didn't know
right.
it was gonna be to save someone from elimination.
mm-hmm.
I thought it could have been to save yourself from lip syncing. Like, you don't have to lip sync, and you could pick somebody in your place. Like, I would have rather it did that than to save
Like
someone from
Golden Beaver
elimination.
kind of deal.
Right.
Yeah, but RuPaul specifically said though, but dunk your way back to the
Into
competition.
the competition. Yeah, she did in the trailer. But
But
anyway,
that could have been also like in the end of the season, like after all their before the top 4, they like they did in All-Star 6 with the lip syncs. It could have been
True.
something like that
True,
before we
yeah.
knew what it was.
Yes, correct.
But so it's 2 saves at some point in the show, and they have 10 levers. So I'm guessing the first 10 episodes, everybody, unless somebody picks the second one right away, because the first one was
Right.
she picked. Harmona picks lever number 7.
Number 7. Yeah.
After she goes down the line and touches everything and licks one.
Licks
and
number 8 for no reason.
I was like, you're grossing me
I
out.
hate
woman.
that. I hated
You're
that so
grossing me
much.
out. And she's licking it, and then she pulls lever number 7, and Michelle falls into the tank. So right off the gate, RuPaul's pick, who she picked immediately, is going to go home, and now she's not.
She did the worst in the challenge, lost the lip sync, and then is not eliminated. Okay. Also, none of us here believe that number 7 was already prepped to dunk Michelle, right? We know that they pushed the button as soon as she did that lever, right? We know.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, good.
Yeah, it seems like because like this has to be production doing, because like if you think about it, like now I will say this, like it's possible that possible that 7 was like preset to be like, oh yeah, you're gonna be dunked right away, but obviously they're gonna keep that suspense like they did with the chocolate bar, so where it's like who's going to go home at that point. So yeah, I was like, all right, I think because of the circumstances is I think because why Harmona got saved in the second episode. So
Honestly, I felt very much like Michelle. I was dunked in a bucket of, like, it was a bucket of cold water in my head. I was like so happy with the 2 premieres. It was so good. Everything was so good. I love the cat. Like everything was just so good. And then literally when I was like smiling, clapping. This started happening. Throughout the remaining of the episode, I was watching like this.
Be like,
The whole time, I was like, okay.
Is it
gonna be over? Please. And I was like wishing for it to be over. I hated it. I hated it so much.
It was
Like,
the biggest downer ever. Like I was like,
horrible.
why? Why are we doing this? Why is this even a thing? It
Mhm.
just y'all know how I feel about people not going home. And this is the second episode, and we said somebody was guaranteed eliminated from this challenge. And I just hate it. I hated every second of it. I
And it's
hate it.
like we've watched Drag Race enough that like I know that the producers did this because Hermona being there will
Yep.
start shit with the other girls because the other girls are not feeling her already and they're just gonna be even more mad now that this happened and they're just doing it for that. And I
Yep.
hate that. That
I
is the
hate it.
part where we talked about last week that I hate the the that that it's more focused on being a reality show than a talent competition. And
Yeah.
I know it's a mix of both,
Yeah.
but I do really prefer when talent is first and reality show is second. It
Correct.
can be it, a show can be
You can do
both,
it,
but
but
I
you have to
like
do
the
it the right
talent
way.
to be the main part of the
Right.
show. And I feel like it's
Absolutely.
not anymore and it's a bummer, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's that, y'all. Because
it is what
honestly,
it is.
it is what it
Like,
is at this point. There's really nothing else we could do, and there's really nothing else we could say because Hormona stayed, and we'll see her next week. So, but we'll be back next week to talk about RuPaul's Drag Race episode 3. Make sure to join us for the look over here, when we give you our in-depth thoughts about the looks and our scores and all of that thing. So join us for look over here. Follow us on this channel. Hit the subscribe button. Do with all the things. Follow us on all of our other channels. Those links will be in the description below. Follow us on our audio podcast channel. So you need to listen to us on the go. We appreciate you. Join our Patreon so you can get early access to most look over here's and early exclusive content across all 4 channels. And you can follow us on all of our socials at The Cup Pod on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, at these platforms while we still are there. We probably have to join new platforms soon, but who cares? We'll do it. And then you can follow us on all of our socials as well. You see it scrolling down there. And don't forget your merch. Get your cup merch, period, at lanagcreations.etsy.com. And we're going to get out of here because we got some looks to talk about. So cheers, y'all. Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye.